Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? And welcome to the channel. Let's get right into it, right? I'm using the Lost Oracle today. It has quickly become one of my favorite oracles. And I also just did a quick video on my Substack. I'm a lot more active there nowadays. Yeah, a lot of people, I see a lot of people leaving mainstream social media. I support that. I haven't myself quite taken the leap yet off of one of them. I got rid of Facebook a long time ago. TikTok has been a while. Instagram is the one that I still kind of hold on to, just because I have a lot of connections in there. But Substack is the one that I am really having a lot of fun in. I've been writing there for quite a few months now, and I never thought of myself as a writer. I know some people kind of grew up loving books and they love to read and love to write. I do love to read, but there are people out there that kind of love it more and they just dream of being writers. So I never thought of myself as one until I started writing, and I've had ideas and stories in my head for so long that I was like, you know what, fuck it, like let's just do it. And I did it, and it's been incredibly liberating to be in there, in that environment. So I'm having fun. I hope you are having fun as well in this crazy world we live in. Speaking of the crazy world, we have the Stang. The Stang. I'm joking around, but so in if you're not familiar, in Seidr is Norse shamanism, basically. And there is a practice, actually it's where witches riding brooms kind of comes from. It's Seidr practitioners, sorcerers, seers. That's usually the translation, is a seer, a sorcerer, is a shaman. But here I'm just gonna call it a witch, because I love that word. I love being a witch, and just saying the word witch just feels empowering to me. So we're gonna go with that. So anyway, in Seidr practitioner, you sit usually on a chair or some sort of like little platform or stool or something, or however you really are comfortable. And they usually carry a staff, a walking stick, things like that. And they put it in between, and that's almost like it's where the witches riding brooms comes from. Witches ride the brooms and they travel, right? That's basically what it is. You're traveling, of course, in meditation. I wish it was real, but you're traveling in meditation. How shamans travel to the lower and the upper world and the middle world, Seidr also, they travel to the other worlds as well. So that's where this image comes from. What this means is it's between the worlds. You know, I'm telling you why I love the Lost Oracle. I'm not selling it. I don't have an affiliate link. I just love it. It may not be for you, but it's definitely speaking to me. Because if you guys have been watching my last few videos, I've talked about Mother Hel. I call her Mother Hel for some reason, the goddess Hel from Norse mythology. She has really been around me for a while, and she gives me that feeling of being like a dark witch shaman kind of feeling. And I love that. I love that feeling. I love that feeling of kind of like getting my fingers dirty with earth. And that's what this oracle kind of gives me, that feeling. Anyway, the traveling between the worlds, it says ride between the realms, actually, down here, is an alternate level of consciousness. That's what we're kind of talking about here. We'll pull more cards about it because I feel like the message is not quite complete. Because what does it mean to travel between the realms, right? I have been doing, and that's the thing, it's not for everybody. I feel like this message is for some, to be honest with you. But what I have been doing lately is traveling to the lower world. If you're not familiar with the lower world, is where our ancestors and spirit guides live. The upper world in shamanism is where the gods and angelic celestial beings live. The lower world is kind of like our closest one to us living people, and you can travel there in meditation. I suggest reading about it first and maybe listening to some videos on YouTube before you actually like practice it, just because you need some visualizations. And I will make a video about visualizations soon. I think that's a really important video topic as well, actually, because it's not just about visualizing, and not everyone has that ability. Some people are gifted in other areas where they can feel, they can taste, they can hear more so than visualize. So take that in with a grain of salt. And when I say visualization, I just mean whichever sense is strongest for you. But you know what I'm feeling too? I'm looking at the card now, and what this feels like to me is that a lot of us are not really feeling solid in our practice. I say witchcraft just because I love that word, and like I said, I love the word witch. But to me, witchcraft, I know it's not equal to, don't come at me, but it's that path of spirituality. For some people, you're not that deep into witchcraft, but you like to meditate, and that's your thing. To me, that's a form of witchcraft, and it's yours because you're manipulating and working with energy. That's my thing. I believe that Reiki is witchcraft. You can believe that or not. That's up to you. We're not here to debate. But I do, because it's a manipulation of energy. It's a shift in energy and in consciousness. So what I'm seeing here is that some of us are not really feeling that solid in our practice. Let's put it that way. Perhaps we're doubtful of it. Perhaps some of us are doubting that it's even real. Maybe it's just figments of our imagination. And it can be. I'm not gonna lie, it can be. But our imagination is just as real as anything. And our imagination is so vast and wide and interesting. And our imagination has literally imagined the whole world. An artist and the deck creator imagined this deck. Artists have imagined this entire wall. And I imagined putting this wall together. And then I made it happen. And then these artists made it happen. Your imagination is as real as anything. And because here we have a witch between the realms, just because your imagination isn't tangible, right? You can't touch what you're seeing right now. It's in between. So you need to put in the work to make it reality. If what you're visualizing is a deck of cards, maybe you're a photographer, maybe you are an inspiring accountant and you're seeing yourself working with numbers and helping people with their finances and taxes, which, trust, we all need that. To me, that's your version of witchcraft. You're making magic happen with numbers, for example, right? So study more, put in more effort. I know it's not that easy and also not that cheap, but if you have the means to go back to school. And if not, there's so many videos on YouTube and just all over the internet where you can learn a lot and you can start getting experience that way. So right now what I'm seeing is that our magic is between the realms. We're seeing possibilities, but we're not seeing it come to fruition yet, come to reality, be tangible. Yep. Okay, so the first card is strength. Yeah, it takes a lot of strength to make something into reality. And then I feel like these two cards are really just saying to go for it, because we have the Empress, and the Empress is the mother. She is the birth giver, and it doesn't matter what gender you are. It's just an archetype of someone that is able to give birth, right? I'm giving birth to this video right now, making it happen. Every week I give birth to my Therapy Tuesday Substack, where I share personal stories and thoughts on magic and philosophy and things like that. It's a creation that we're doing. And because the Empress is number 3, here we have the 3 of Wands. It came out together. It's another, and also the 3 of Wands are a suit of action. Look at all this red. There's a lot of red going on. Now, the final card we have is the Moon, which is actually so appropriate for everything I talked about, because the Moon is the unconscious. The Moon is in between worlds. We have here a kind of like a crawfish looking, a lobster looking being coming out of the water. We see this as almost like a lotus flower coming out from the muddy water. Those are symbols of, actually especially a lotus is a symbol of our muddy, kind of dirty, you can't really see through it, unconscious, aka the shadow self. And the lotus is that spring. It's bringing things to light. It's bringing things to vision, to consciousness. So that's what the Moon is. The Moon is the unconscious. The Moon is secrets and mysteries that perhaps you haven't allowed yourself to tap into. I don't know if you're feeling shameful about it, because there's what I also see with the 3 of Wands is we have the X, the 2 wands in there in front of the 3rd one. So what this feels to me is almost like this. You want to move forward, but there is maybe doubt and fear. Maybe you're at the crossroads of doubt and fear, and they're just kind of blocking you. But creativity, and the strength to push through is what we need. I'm also looking at the strength here, and this card depicts a person kind of holding the mouth of a lion open. And to me, what this says is, of course, that's not going to happen, right? I hope you're not trying this at home. But it's that fantasy. It's things that we deem, that we ourselves want to create, but we deem it fantastical. We deem it impossible. This is impossible. I know there's circus acts that, I don't know if they do it anymore, but they used to. Me growing up, I've seen like lion tamers. Those were interesting. So, I'm not talking about those. But like us mere mortals will never really hold the mouth of a lion open. So this is impossible. It's fantastical. It's a abstract. It's fantasy. But is it? But is it? Of course, what I'm talking about here is your productivity, your creativity, your products, your creations, your art. I'm going to call it art just because it's such a broad term. But your vision, your dream, your future, is it really that impossible? That's what I feel like. That's why we're in between realms. We're between the worlds. You see it in your mind's eye. Again, visualization. Maybe you feel it in your body. Maybe you hear it in your dreams in a distant future. But that just means that we're at the crossroads of fear and doubt. And I feel like it's like the Moon. It's saying, look around. Things are not as they seem. In the dark, things tend to look a little distorted. They're not as they seem. Sometimes we think we see a creature, but really in the light of day it's just a tree or a bush, or some debris or something, some fallen wood. Things are not as they seem. The fear and doubt that we deem so real. Stephen King, for example, feels the same thing. Brene Brown feels the same thing. and she's like the vulnerability queen. Kiki Palmer, you know, she has, I don't know, I've just watched some interviews lately of her, and she, in my opinion, of course, I'm looking at it through just someone in the comfort of my home, looking at someone on the TV, but she looks confident, and she looks like she's having fun kind of doing everything she does. And there's a kind of magic about her, and a brightness about her. But I don't see her here in the unconscious. I don't see her in the crossroads of her fear and doubt. What we see is just her and her magic, her as the empress, making things happen and being real. But just because in her private moments, in many people's private moments, those are hidden. The moon is all about being hidden as well. The crossroads between fear and doubt are hidden from us mere mortals. We don't know. Even your friend, we never really know what goes on in their minds and in their hearts in the depth of night. They can be laying right next to you, and you don't know. I feel like this kind of turned a little darker, but my intention with that message is your fear and doubt are the abstraction, are the abstract notion, not your dreams, not your vision, not what burns inside you to do something. That's not abstract. That is almost like labor pain wanting to come out, because there is a push, there is a calling, there is a feeling. I'm looking at her hair here, and it feels like it's like wind blown, and there is a wind on your face that says, hey. So really what's abstract here is your fear and doubts, not your visions. All right, guys. I hope this served you well. I hope this gave you the fire that you needed under your butt. I know I feel a little bit empowered. Actually, a lot more empowered to do what I need to do. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.